Jayanandalala, Adiyoli Charana. So we were talking about Ayyappan last week. We're going to continue with the same journey this week also. We're going to talk about the temple, the journey, what the devotees go through, and those strict rules and austerities that they follow. Now, there are two routes to get to Sabarimalai. One is a very long route, and it starts from Irumudi, and the other one is from Pamba River. So from Irumudi, it is 58 kilometers trek. It's a long route. And from Pamba River, it is 6 kilometers, but it's the most toughest trek from Pamba River. That's what they say. It's very steep to the temple. It's very difficult. So we'll go through every inch of this route, and we'll start from the first, the long route that I was talking about, Irumudi. And when I say Irumudi, it comes from the word Irumai, and it's also called Irumai Kolli. And this we know, Mahishi had the buffalo face. Mahishasura also had the buffalo face, correct? So Mahishi also had the buffalo face, and this is where she was killed. So the journey begins at this spot, Irumudi, and this is where the Lord killed Mahishi and got victory. He won the war. And when he killed Mahishi, he stood on her chest and there was a dance. He danced. This just reminded me of how Kalinga Mardanam, which Lord Krishna did. That dance was when he danced on the snake. The explanations in Bhagavatam is very beautiful. It says that he danced, and in that dance, he pushed out all the ego of the snake. All the ego. It came out as poison. So everything was released. The snake understood the power of the Lord. So beautiful when you think about that incident when Lord Krishna, small Krishna, standing on that snake, that huge snake, holding his tail and dancing. And we've seen this, in pictures, right? Depicted in pictures, in the form of pictures. And it's so beautifully drawn for us that we get a slight idea of what went through. And can you imagine the people who are watching that sight over there? All his friends and his mother, his father, everybody got to see that. What a blessing. Something similar here. When Lord Ayyappa stood on Mahishi and danced, all her ego, everything was released. And she emerged as a beautiful woman. And we spoke about this earlier. And what she asked, right? She asked if she could marry Lord Ayyappan. So now she's a beautiful woman. She is no more an asura. So this dance, even today is being, followed. It's called the Petai Tullal. Petai Tullal is what it's called, and all the devotees take part in this. The ritual is to remember this event of Lord Ayyappa dancing on Mahishi after he won the war. So here devotees apply color to their face and chanting the Lord's names, and they dance, and it's a beautiful event. A lot of people take part in it, and then of course they proceed on their pilgrimage. Next place that they come to is Kalaikatti. Now Kalai is the bull. Why it's called that is because this is where Lord Shiva and Parvati came down to watch this event, this war of Ayyappan and Mahishi. They came down here to this place, and Kalai is of course Nandi, and he was asked to wait over there, and they moved a little further down, and they wanted to watch closer look at the event, what was happening. So Nandi was seated there. So that is why the place is called Kalai Katti. Now here there is an Aruda river. And this is where usually the devotees rest to eat, freshen up, and stuff like that. Now devotees also take a dip in the river. And what they usually do is they take a small stone with them. And when they reach Injipare, there's another, next place is Injipare. It's a hill. And this is where Ayyappan, after killing Mahishi, buried her under the stones, a lot of stones. Now, we spoke about that earlier. So the devotees also place their stones, which they got from the river, they place it there, remembering Mahishi's burial. Now, Injipare Fort is at the peak of the Malai. And this is where Lord Ayyappan graces as the Devan, Vyakrapadan. Now, Vyakram, it means tiger. Now, Lord is keeping all the tigers under his control. This is a tiger reserve. And there are a lot of tigers here. So, but all the tigers are under his control. So, this is where the devotees come and seek his blessings for the next part of the journey. Of course, there's a deeper meaning to this. Vyakrapadan is also, the tiger is our mind. Surrender the mind to him and he takes control. So here we are again. Vyakrapadan is another, the deity, Lord Ayyappan, who does that very well. Now they seek his blessings and they continue. And here they do the Vedi Varipadu. Vedi Varipadu is very popular in Kerala, you know, usually in Amman temples, Devi temples. They call Amman Bhagavati, you know, in Kerala. So they do Vedi Varipadu a lot of times. Again, there is a big significance, which I will talk in the later half. Now then comes the Karimalai. This is the most steepest climb. Here the devotees put to real test. This is the actual test. Are you made for Sabarimalai test? The sand is black, and that's where the name comes, Karimalai. And there is an idol of Karimalai Nadar here. It's installed here. And the water is natural spring, and which was created by Lord Ayyappan himself for his devotees to quench their thirst. Now, there is also a Karimala Bhagavati here. Now, it's said that this path is very narrow and a beaten track. So, it is a deep slope on one side and the rough rocks on the other. So, you have to make sure you are on the rocks, but there is a tendency of getting a sprain, ankle sprain, a knee sprain, or a twist here very easily. So this is where the deities decide whether you proceed or you go back. So this is the path which decides whether he wants you to go further or not. So this is where they all chant Swami Sharanam and they keep going. This is the toughest path. And there's also a lot of herbal plants that grow on this path. They say a lot of medicinal values are in these plants. It's all herbal plants. And crossing this place, the devotee would be cured of any diseases that he's suffering from. Now, from here, the Pamba River is 5 kilometers. So the Pamba River, a lot of people start their journey from Pamba River because, like I said, from Irumudi, it is the toughest route, right? So a lot of people start from Pamba River. Now, why would the deity stop you in the path? If you're in Karimalai, that is the place I said the deity may stop you in your path, in your tracks, if you have not followed the austerities, the given austerities properly, in a strict manner. You could be stopped. Now, after 3 kilometers comes Valiyana Vattam. Valiyana is Periyane, Periyane. This is lots of elephants in this area one time. So devotees stay here in sheds. As the Pamba River is too crowded, they stay in this place and they cook all their leftover provisions that they have, because from here it's just 6 kilometers for the temple, to the temple. So they just cook all the leftover provisions here and they do their annadanam here. They distribute all their foods here to other devotees. And it is also believed, excuse me, that Lord Ayyappan also joins to eat along with his devotees. It's a belief that they all know and understand. So what they do is they take the ash from the wood that they used to cook all the food, and they just collect the ash and they, from all the stations, and they distribute it. They also prepare lamps here from bamboo from the forest, and they float it on the river. And this is also called the Pamba Velak. And it's a feast to watch this beautiful sight. Can you imagine? It's like nighttime. The whole river is brightly lit with all these lamps. Beautiful sight. Now, a lot of people perform Pitru Tarpanam here on the banks of the river Pamba, as it is holy as Ganga, which Lord Ayyappan had stated. And in our history, in our scriptures from our Puranas, Lord Rama has also done Tarpanam here for his father in the Pamba Nadi. Now the steep climb begins from the Pamba River, and we start at the foothill of Nilimalai. And they usually say people with cardiac problems should not use this path to climb. It's a very rugged slope and it's tough to climb. That's 6 kilometers. It's not easy. See how many tests he puts us through, huh? All the devotees who want to get to him is not easy, because he's a brahmachari and he's in penance, and it takes a lot of effort to get to him. Now there's Apache Made, the next stop, where people throw rice balls made of rice flour. And this is as an offering to the Vana Devatas. Cannot forget the forest that protected with this journey, right? The Vanadevatas are there. So you do the offering and thank them as you're nearing the Sabarimalai Sannidhi. Soon the peak is visible a few meters from here. After you reach there is Shabari Peetam. Oh, Shabari. In my surrendered session, I have spoken in detail about Shabari and her bhakti and her surrender to Lord Rama, and how Lord Rama came and gave darshan over here. And this is her Peetam. So you visit that Peetam, seek her blessings, and then move to the next one. And the next one is Saramkutti. Now here, this is the first timers who are going there for the first time. Bring a small arrow with them made of bamboo and fix it here on the tree to inform their arrival for the first time. Kanni Swamis, they say. And from here, the Tirusannadhi is 15 minutes. Slowly, you get to see the Gopuram, the temple, and the 18 steps. Everything is slowly visible. Padinettam. Slowly, you forget all the difficulties that you endured to get here. That's how the Lord puts us in an illusion. It's a good illusion. The happiness, the bliss that you get when you see that golden Gopura and the Padinettam, the golden steps. You forget everything. Only pilgrims with irumudi and who have observed the 41 days vratham can climb the 18 steps. Now the Sannidhanam is located above the holy steps at the height of 40 feet amidst a serene ambience of beautiful greenery, forests and hills. It's so beautiful. Even all this is, you don't have to really go there to experience. You just have to close your eyes. The mind can travel anywhere. That's the power of the mind. The Lord here is seen in a meditative posture with a smile on his face, obviously blessing the devotee. Sitting posture with its legs folded and tied with a cloth. Yoga pattai. Obviously, after this steep climb, so many days, 41 days of penance, when you see this beautiful Lord, what happens? Tears of joy run down your cheek, right? Tears of joy. It's like a priceless gift. That's the gift for all the penance. That's why people go again. The gift is so valuable. You don't experience that bliss in any other gift. So people want to go again. There's a lot of people who go back again. Every year they go. So devotees take the irumudi, right? They carry it in their head. So they take the ghee in a coconut. And that ghee is poured as abhishekam. It's used for the Abhishekam for the Lord. He's bathed in so much ghee. So many devotees go there, and so much ghee is used to bathe him that day. So the Lord is bathed in all that ghee from early morning until noon. He's bathed in ghee. So there is no Abhishekams in the evening. The Lord appears in a grand alangaram with flowers. So it's mostly flower alangaram in Sabarimalai, because he's a sannyasi, given up everything. So there's not much alangaram as such. It's just with a saffron, costume. That's it. There is nothing more to it. But he's got a lot of different flowers. Alangaram. It's beautiful. Now the temple is amidst a beauty of so many forests and greeneries, like I said, and the 18 steps that the devotees need to take to reach the sanctum. Now, let's talk in detail about these 18 steps. What are these 18 steps? The 18 steps denote 5 indriyas, indriyams, senses. What are indriyams? Senses. And 8 ashtaragas, 3 gunas, which is character. Gunas, characters. And vidya and avidya. Now, once a person crosses these 18 stages, 18 steps, he can reach the Supreme God. Simple. Let's break it down, okay? Panchendriyas, 5 senses, which I said, is sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. And I've spoken about this in detail when I was talking about the Panchabhutams and their significance in my previous session. So go and listen to that. So you'll understand why these are so important. How we keep those 5 senses in our control. How can we keep them in control? By controlling our mind. Because the mind is connected to all our senses. The mind tells us, look over there. Speak this. Say this. So we listen. It's up to us whether we listen to it or not. That's how we control it. And we analyze a lot of things. A lot of fear. People who have fear. Fear is always about something that has not happened yet. Fear is something about which has not happened, and it's about the future. Mostly it's about the future. It's not happened yet. I fear for that. I fear, maybe that can happen. Maybe she is doing this. He's doing that. Nothing has happened yet. It's all the mind. The mind causes that fear. Remember, fear or faith. Both cannot be there. You have to pick one. Is it faith or fear? That's the 5 senses. Now, 8 ashtaragas, emotions. That is what it means. What are the emotions? Krodham, right? Anger, love, kamam, lobham is greed, Asuya is jealousy. Doomb is boastfulness. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm this. It's all about the I. Trash it. I is nothing. What we achieve in this earth right now, what we have achieved over the years, trust me, is nothing. Is nothing. Stop talking about what you have achieved. Because you came with that baggage. You had to do it anyway. And Ambal made you do it. So it's her achievement, not yours. I say it on your face and I say it again. There is nothing you have achieved. There is nothing we have achieved. If I'm sitting and talking to you right now, she's doing the talking, not me. So the boastfulness, a lot of people love to talk about themselves. A lot of them love to talk about themselves and their achievements. If only they knew that it is not them doing it, it's the Lord doing it through them. It's like having a beautiful Benz car outside our house. What good is the Benz car without the driver in it? What good is a Benz car? No good. Where's the driver? Oh, you have a Benz. There's a lot of people in India have a very good car, you know. I've seen this many times. I've seen it many times. They have a very big car, but they don't take it out. When I ask them why, because they take the smaller car out. When I ask them why, they say it's too much traffic. I don't know where to park. And our body is the car. Okay. So if there is no driver for this car, our car is useless. So give the credit to the driver. The driver drives the car and goes out and shows off his car. That's the truth. So the boastfulness has to go. Unhealthy competition. That's the next one. Madam, unhealthy competition. What's a healthy competition? A lot of parents nowadays say, the minute the kid enters the house after a test, they ask them, how did you do? It was tough. What about your friend? It's the wrong question. Don't ask that. Don't ever ask, what about your friend? Don't ever ask that question, please. What about the friend? Who cares? Who cares about the friend? Just focus on the kid. How much did you get? The kid will tell the mark. Are you happy with it? The kid is going to say yes or no. If you're happy with it, wonderful. Pat him in the back and just go. If the kid is not happy, he will let you know. Get him a tutor. Give him more practice in it. Simple as that. Ask him to do better than yesterday. He has to be his own competition. That is a healthy competition. Don't look at outside and don't teach the kid to look outside and do better. The kid has to learn from his own mistakes. The kid has to look inside and understand himself, herself, and do whatever it takes to be better. Not to look at the outside world and be better. oh, he's doing better than me, so let me do it. No, that's not a healthy competition. Then that person becomes the target. So what happens if after he becomes better than that person? He stops? See, we have to have our own yardstick. That's a healthy competition. So, no unhealthy competition. And then, of course, pride. Very similar to boastfulness, but matsaryam, pride. There's a lot of pride in people, right? Unknowingly. It's not like they know what they're doing. A lot of them do it unknowingly. Oh, I gave this much to that temple. I gave this much to them. I gave this much. I feed this many people. I do this. I do that. There's a lot of I which we have to cut off. We are all just a mere dust particle. That's all we are. So when we remove the I, that's when we can reach God. See how many factors are here. The 18 steps just remind us that it's not easy to reach the Lord. The I has to be removed. It's so difficult to remove the I. And I'm not just saying for people with pride or boastfulness. There are a lot of people who are so nice and sweet. But what do they have? They have this feeling of, they have a lot of expectations. I'm so nice to everybody and everybody needs to be nice to me. That me. That's also a pride. That's the ego. Why are they not nice to me? Why are they doing this to me? Why aren't they listening to me? Who is this me? Cut it off. It's no point. Only going to give you sadness, worries. Nobody needs to listen to anybody. Simple. We just need to do our duty and just keep moving forward. That is the key. We are mere dust. So the pride has to be cut. So we spoke about the 5 indriyas and the 8 ashtaragas. Now the 3 gunas. Gunas is qualities, human qualities. Sattva, goodness or purity. And rajas is passion. And tamas is inertia, dullness. And the last 2 steps are vidya and avidya. Vidya is knowledge. Avidya is ignorance. So these are the significance of the 18 steps. So the devotees, when they climb these steps, they remember what they are letting go. Each step is letting go of something. Now the steps were originally granite, then later it was covered by the Panchaloka metal. Now Ayyappan, Lord Ayyappan was the master of 18 weapons. When he climbed these steps after the temple was built for him, he surrendered 1 weapon in each step. all the 18 weapons, one by one, were surrendered in each step. That's why the 18 steps also represent his 18 weapons. The 18 steps also represent the 18 hills around Sabarimalai. Now, Sabarimalai is the highest one, where the temple stands. They start climbing after breaking the coconut, which they carry in the irumudi, the devotees. They start climbing by making an offering. And they climb with their right foot first. After climbing these 18 steps, devotee detaches oneself from all the worldly ties that bind themselves physically and mentally to this world. Yeah, at that moment, they detach. They experience it. It's not like someone has taught them to do it. Automatically, they experience it because that's the gift the Lord gives them after all this severe, strict austerities they followed. The gift they get is that feeling, the detachment, the nimadi, the peace and calm that they experience, the bliss that they experience there once after they climb up, seeing the Lord. Priceless. Now the 18 number, of course, once they reach there, there is a saying in, before that, there is a saying in Ayyappa temple. It's written on the, under the gopuram, the entrance. It says, Tattvamasi. What does that mean? Tattvamasi. It's actually taken from our Upanishad, from the Chandogya Upanishad of the Samaveda. That verse. What does it mean? It means you are that. You are the Paramatma. You are what you are seeking. You are God. That's the power of us human beings. But we let the mind control us, unfortunately. Now, the 18 has a big significance in our scriptures and Vedas. It's a powerful number, very powerful number. The first Veda that was given to Lord Brahma, we have spoken about this particular incident in our Sri Rangam session, part 1. If you want, go and check it out. I have in detail spoken about how the Vedas came to be and how Lord Vishnu gave it to Lord Brahma. Now that Veda had 18 chapters. Later, Veda Vyasa divided and created the 4 Vedas. Each of those Vedas have 18 chapters. Now, Veda Vyasa wrote 18 Puranas and 18 Upa Puranas. We're talking about the significance of the number 18 here. That's why I'm giving you all these points to remember. The Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. The Kurukshetra war lasted for 18 days. So 18 is a powerful number. No one climbs these steps without the 41 days strict vratham and the irumudi kattu that we spoke about, isn't it? Now, the Lord is a brahmachari and he has set certain rules. He told his father, this is how it's supposed to be. Whoever come to see me have to do all this and then they reach me. He's a sannyasi there. He's a brahmachari. He's a sannyasi there. So he has set certain disciplines to follow, restraints to follow. It's not easy to go and see him. I've told you, there is a penance for everything. So this is the penance to go see him. Because the rules are, we all know the basic one: no meat, no onion, celibacy, sattvic food, no footwear. Usually they wear black or blue or saffron. They wear the malai. And they do Ayyappa puja every day without fail. You have to do. Once you put the malai, you have to do Ayyappa puja every day. And usually they take dikshay for it. From an older person, they take the dikshay and they do. No shaving, no haircuts, no sleeping on the mattress. You have to sleep on the mat on the floor. Obviously, once the malai is worn, nobody addresses them with a name. They're called Swami. Swami Saranam. This is the way it is. Even if I remember when I was growing up, the vegetable vendor used to go to Sabarimalai. Suddenly he'll come in his black clothing and malai, and we have to call him Swami Sharanam. That's the pedestal the Lord gives you once you wear the malai, right? Everyone addresses you as Swami. Tattvamasi, right? Now, women who are going through their menstrual cycle is prohibited. This is what the Lord had instructed, and it is being followed till date. Now, the women, they can go if they're 10 or less years, or 50 years above are allowed. Now, there is a reason for everything. A lot of debates have happened on this topic, but they say that if women go during their menstrual cycle, the cycle gets disturbed. That period gets disturbed. And the reproductive health is affected. Obviously, the woman is a very powerful instrument. She's given a big responsibility. And she's been given that tool, this body. So her whole existence depends on the smooth functioning of her menstrual cycle. Why does that happen? Why are they saying these things? Let me explain. Let me break it down. A lot of times people say she's dirty, when this menstrual period begins. She's dirty. She's untouchable. Teetu is the usual word used in the Tamil families. It's none of these. Okay. Ambal herself has explained it in a way to understand it better. The woman is very powerful during that time. She's very, very powerful. She has the tendency to, it's like a magnet. Just think about a magnet. She has the tendency to pull all the energies into her at that time. That is why they say not to go near any powerful energy source, that being the prayer room in everybody's house or the temple. Because what happens is, at that time, we tend to pull all those energies into us, and that will only affect our health. Can we withstand it? The energy, we're not talking about any ordinary energy. When we go to the temple on a normal day, we feel it. We feel the energy. Can you imagine we're pulling all that energy into this mortal body? Cannot withstand it. It's going to affect the health. So obviously, going during periods is not advised because it affects the uterus, the reproductive health, and the menstrual cycle. Everything gets disturbed because the body is not equipped for that. The women have to understand their power and stay away from these excessive energy sources during these times. That's why they say the 3 days. Because once you go there are a lot of cases. Once you go there during this time, you may feel deeper cramps. You may feel excessive bleeding right after you return from the temple, or the periods may stop. It becomes irregular. The whole reproductive health is affected. This tool is not an ordinary tool. This supports a life inside for such a long period of time. A woman's body is not an ordinary tool. It's a very powerful machine. Powerful machine God has created for a specific reason. So we have to maintain it well. For that reason, now here, Lord Ayyappan has made sure that you don't come, the women don't come during when they're going through the menstrual cycle at all. You can imagine how powerful this place is. It's for our own good. When the Lord has set these rules, when it comes to Sabarimalai, who are we to question it? Again, when you question, it's about the 8 ashtaragas that we were talking about, the pride, right? When we question, it's our pride. I want to go. You can go. Close your eyes. You can go there. While I was talking to you now, I went there. I'm there already. Nobody can stop you here. That's the power of our mind. It can take us anywhere, anytime. That is what the Lord is testing, right? We have to pass all his tests. So after they reach the top, the 18 steps, when they're done with the darshan and they've seen the Lord, while coming down, they come down backwards, facing the Lord. They do not face their back to the Lord. So that's another beautiful thing. Now on Shankranti day, the jewels and clothing for the Lord and the weapons. You remember the Lord said to the king, his father, that on Makara Shankranti, I will dress like the king, wearing all the weapons, wearing all the jewelry, crown. I will give darshan as a king. This is what he has said. And till today, that is what they follow. And it's brought, all these jewels and clothing and all these beautiful things are brought from the Pandalam palace to Sabarimala. The procession starts walking from the palace to Sabarimala. They're walking all the way. On the way, it is kept at Sri Partha Sarathi temple. It's a ritual. This is how it is. And they keep it on the way in this temple the night, and then they start their journey next morning. Now, when they're starting from Parthasarathi temple, a garudan, eagle, accompanies them all the way to Sabarimala. This happens every time. There are some things we cannot question. It's not like they've tamed an eagle and put them in the sky. It's not possible. So only on Shankranti day, he gives this vision to everybody once a year. He is not a sannyasi, he is the king. Beautiful. And on Makara Shankranti, a star also appears in the sky at a particular time in the evening. And it's called the Makara Jyoti. And they all excitedly wait and await this beautiful vision. It's a rare event every year, chanting Swamiye Saranam Ayyappa. Just imagine how that would be. Oh my God. Priceless. Now, after the jewels are adorned on the Lord, the eagle circles. After, of course, the alangaram is done. And the Lord gives this darshan. The eagle circles the temple in the sky 3 times. Pradakshanam. And disappears. Now, after the ghee is offered to the Lord, like I said, the abhishekam, the coconut is burnt here in the Karpura Ari. This starts burning in mid-November and burns constantly till end of the season in mid-January. Lakhs and lakhs of coconut burn day and night. The smoke coming out from the fire cleanses and purifies the atmosphere. The other deities in the temple is Sri Ganapati, Sri Nagaraja in the southwest. 100 meters away from the main sanctum is Malligapurathamman, which we spoke about, the Mahishi who turned into this beautiful woman. She's sitting there waiting for the Lord to marry her. And we also spoke about the condition he told her he would marry only if there is no Kannisam. Now here, when you reach the Sannidhi, people roll their coconuts around this shrine of Malligapurathamman. Malligapurathamman. And pilgrims bring blouse pieces which are kept at the feet of the goddess, and they are given back to the devotee, and they carry it home as a blessing and give it to the lady of the house. Now, the whole layout of the temple is based on the instructions of Lord Ayyappan himself. When you go there, whenever you go there, you will see it. Following all the austerities, doing whatever he has instructed in full bhakti, without questioning anything, surrendering ourselves, we'll get to experience that bliss which we all want, that intoxication. The intoxication can happen without alcohol also. This is it. With that, we come to an end of Ayyappa part 1 and 2. I hope you enjoyed this. Madhiyoli Charanam, Jai Nandalala.